full range of collegiate emotion. B-Mac, I'll go your way first here. Take me anywhere in week one, a player, a coach, a team. Who made the biggest positive impression on you here on Saturday?
Ooh, Bryce Young. Roll Tide. I mean, that was a question mark for Alabama, losing so many NFL players from that outstanding championship team from a year ago, not to mention replacing your quarterback in Mac Jones. Man, they will not miss Mac Jones. My biggest winner from Saturday's ball games, Alabama arguably has the best quarterback in college football once again. And yes, I'm making that statement after one ball game because guess what? He threw for 4 touchdowns. Never been done before in Roll Tide history. He's up there with the likes of Joe Namath and Mac Jones, 2 outstanding quarterbacks there when they were there at Alabama. So that's the biggest winner for me because that was the big question mark for all of us. What will Bryce Young look like? Guess what? He looked like a Heisman type of quarterback today against a ranked opponent.
Hey, B-Mac, it's week one. We get to overreact. That's the whole point of week one. We get to overreact to everything. No, look, I was at that game, and Bryce Young was awesome. You know who was better? Alabama's defense, specifically their linebackers. Will Anderson was all over the place. Christian Harris was as well. Phildarian Mathis. I tell you what, if at the snap, I think Will Anderson could have run all the way up the steps into the press box and hit me in 3 seconds. I don't know what De'Aaron King was supposed to do in that situation. So Alabama, yeah, Bryce Young was awesome, but man, that defense for the Crimson Tide. You think Bryce Young's the best quarterback Alabama's had? I will say on the record without any equivocations right now, this is by far the best defense that Alabama has ever had under Nick Saban. Those dudes are flat out freaks.
Wow, that right there is a statement, thinking of some of the defenders and defensive that have been assembled at that storied school. So going to be a whole lot of fun to watch that group gel and get even better as the season rolls on. But to Young's point here, also not just the most passing touchdowns in a debut for the Tide, also the most passing yards in a debut for the Tide. So the bar has been set high. We'll see if they can meet it each and every week. I now need to solicit the yin to that yang, Barrett. Not everyone did live up to the 8 months worth of expectation built. Who felt short of the number next to the name here on Saturday?
Yeah, it's Oklahoma. I think when you look at the Sooners, that was bad against Tulane. Spencer Rattler struggled early. The defense struggled at times, and they gave up too many points to Tulane. But Tulane had a chance late in that game to win. And I think when you look at Oklahoma, there's this narrative that, that their defense is terrible, and you'll look at the scoreboard and you'll see 35 points. The truth is Tulane didn't get to the 400-yard mark. So Oklahoma's defense wasn't that bad. But it was Tulane, and it's the Big 12, and it's Oklahoma, and the reputation for all of those things can come back and haunt the Sooners. And look, I was disappointed. I thought Oklahoma's defense was going to look exactly like it did last year because it was lights out last year, especially in the second half of the season. But it was not. They missed some assignments. Alex Grinch needs to get back to the drawing board, and that cannot make Oklahoma fans excited and confident about their team moving forward because you're going to face a lot better offenses in the Big 12 than you saw against Tulane. And I know it was a weird game and a weird situation with the game being moved to Norman, but it's all about perception in our sport. Perception is reality. And right now, the perception of Oklahoma is that it's the same old Oklahoma.
Well, for me, the biggest loser from Saturday is the Clemson Tigers. It's safe to say you can just ball up their playoff hopes and throw it in the trash can. Now, there's a lot of football left to be played. Barrett mentioned they need chaos to happen, but the likelihood of them getting into the playoffs, especially seeing what happened in the ACC in week one, it's not likely. It's not likely. They may play against a team, if they get to the ACC championship game, that might not be ranked at all. That won't help their chances to get into the playoffs. So, talented team with high expectations, but losing tonight against UGA, also looking at what happened throughout the ACC, it's not good. Biggest loser, Clemson. Your playoff hopes went down the drain after week one.
One late submission for biggest winner. Myself get to talk with these gentlemen each and every week this football season, and what fun we will have. Gentlemen, thank you. And don't forget to tap in with our guy B-Mac, his cousin Patrick Peterson, as the NFL season kicks off. These two sit down with some of the biggest names in all of sports. Download and subscribe All Things Covered with Patrick Peterson, B-Mac.
Want a sports network that delivers everything that matters about the game? The highlights, the picks, the instant analysis. No yelling, no fake debates, no politics. Hit the subscribe button and never miss a moment.